Okay, so I've been asked to do a video on this football club for quite some time in the history series. We're looking at MK Dons, possibly the most divisive club in English football. Now, the reasons why they moved from Wimbledon to Milton Keynes, there are many. Wimbledon Football Club, Plough Lane, their home ground, was in a real poor state of repair. They had been forced to ground share for many years at Selhurst Park alongside Crystal Palace. By the time they moved, they've fallen out of the Premier League and even the Championship. They're now a League One side by the time of relocation. So things weren't going well for Wimbledon on and off the field for quite some time. However, the Football League and the Premier League, which was a subsequent follower on from the Football League, obviously with the split in '92 following the Taylor Report, had considered relocating a football club somewhere from the southeast of England to Milton Keynes, either a club from London or the home counties, for 20 odd years prior to Wimbledon Football Club being bought by Pete Winkleman and relocated. Charlton Athletic had issues with the Valley, and Luton Town have had various issues with Kenilworth Road for expansion. They are very limited, hence why Luton have decided to build a new stadium, and Charlton had their issues with the Valley and also were forced to ground share at Selhurst Park for a while until the Valley was brought up to standard where they currently play. So Wimbledon were not the first club to consider moving to Milton Keynes. It just so happened that they were the club that was moved to Milton Keynes. I don't think the Football League or Premier League ever relocate a club ever again. The backlash from fans nationwide, not just Wimbledon fans, but nationwide, has been so visceral. I don't think the footballing authorities will do it ever again. But the reasons for Wimbledon moving make a lot of sense. They couldn't get a new stadium built and they couldn't repair their existing stadium. So that lack of inward investment from ownership had been a problem for a while. There was struggles with planning permission and local council, and of course it didn't meet the required standards to be an all-seater stadium. But that had been an issue for a very, very long time. On the field as well, performances weren't great, and by the time of the relocation, some of the crowd numbers that Wimbledon were getting were below 800. I remember reading the newspaper when I was a kid, the sports section, and I think there was one match where less than 200 fans attended or something ridiculous like that. And those fans that did turn up were not overly supportive of the shocking performance that Wimbledon put in on the pitch. So 2004 rolls along and the club is relocated by Pete Winkleman, who is a music executive by day and a club owner by night. Quite literally, he is quite reviled in Football League ownership circles. He's not a very popular club owner. I understand what they've done with Milton Keynes, with the community, the academy, the disability teams, the women's team. That is all fantastic. It's just how the club was set up and the backstory behind it. What they've done in the community is fantastic. There is no doubt that Milton Keynes, with its population size, probably does deserve to have a Football League or Premier League club. There is no doubt on that. It just so happens that the local clubs are shockingly bad and haven't been able to go from the non-league to the Football League at all. So another reason why the Football League went, we'll put a club there, we'll grow our nationwide fan base. Now, for 3 years they played at the National Hockey Stadium between 2004 and 2007 before moving to the purpose-built Stadium MK in 2007, which currently seats 30,500. It's basically a Premier League standard stadium. They're in League One. They've only spent one season in the Championship since the relocation in 2004, and they've only won the Football League Trophy the once since that relocation. Their first season in Stadium MK versus Grimsby Town at 2-0 in that final in the 2007-2008 season. That is their only piece of silverware to date. Let that sink in. So it hasn't been the most successful relocation, and they haven't got back to where Wimbledon used to be in the Premier League. They were a very solid mid-table Premier League side. Of course, they did win the FA Cup in 1988, and that leads to some bones of contention with AFC Wimbledon, who've earned the rights to that history. Now, the club records are very, very interesting. Some of them won't get broken, ever, in my personal opinion. I think Dean Lewington, who holds most of the records, I don't think many of these records get even touched. The guy in second place for club appearances has got like 500 more games to play before he catches him. So Dean Lewington has been there since 2004. He's still playing there. That's 19 years a servant of the club. He's not going anywhere anytime soon. I think he retires a one-club man. So club appearances, Dean Lewington has 859 as of recording this video from 2004 till present. League appearances, he has 744 in that time frame. FA Cup appearances, he has 46, which is ridiculous. League Cup appearances, he has 27. That is also ridiculous. League Trophy appearances, he has 32. So some of these numbers aren't going to get broken by anyone at the club for a long time, if ever. The overall appearance record and league appearance record, not in the modern day, doesn't get broken. Very few players play their entire career at the one club. Their longest serving player is Dean Lewington from 2004 until now. So that's nearly 19 years. That is ridiculous. Their youngest ever player was Brendan Galloway, who debuted at age 15 years and 241 days in November 2011. Their oldest player to play was Alex Ray. At the end of the 2009-2010 season, he was aged 40 years and 211 days. The most goals ever scored is Isael McLeod with 71 goals in 189 games in two separate spells at the club between 2004-2007 and 2013-2014. Now we get to their rivalries. So we'll go through some of their geographical rivalries with Wycombe, Peterborough and Northampton, which make logical sense geographically. These are rivalries they built up over the last 18, 19 years of play. Their biggest rivals, there is no geographical location. It's the pure hatred they have for Pete Winkleman and the club. And that's the reformed AFC Wimbledon, who reformed the same year that MK Dons moved and were relocated from what was Wimbledon. AFC Wimbledon hate MK Dons. They hate the fan base, they hate the club, they hate the reason why their club was taken from South West London and relocated in the South Midlands. They hate it. Right? And I will do the video on AFC Wimbledon, their meteoric rise from foundation in the non-league to the Football League. And I think they've got a better record, in my opinion, and a better... And this is a club that was set up by the fans in pure protest and hatred of Pete Winkleman. Now, I understand what MK Dons have done in the community. Their academy system is fantastic. Their community programs are fantastic. It's just about their origin story. And I don't think the Football League or the Premier League or the FA ever again do a relocation move of a football club, because the backlash against them was so strong. It never happens again. The Americanized model doesn't suit the European model. It will never happen again. And fan power has shown with some of the protests against the European Super League and ticket prices and how clubs have handled a variety of things like the Premier League pay-per-view fiasco, that the fans really... there is pushback, and we're seeing it. And I think the Football League authorities have realised there's only so much we can get away with before we're called out. Now, we will see what happens with MK Dons. Do they ever make the Premier League? They have a very good shout at the moment of possibly making the Championship at some point in the next couple of years if they play their cards right. But can they become a Premier League club, which was envisioned by Pete Winkleman all those years ago? Because it's taken a very long time, and they've only had one season in the Championship. So we'll see what happens. Anyway, thank you very much for watching. Please place your thoughts in the comments section below. Of course, don't forget, they had that 4-0 win against Manchester United in the League Cup a few years ago when Louis van Gaal was left absolutely stunned by his team's performance. And MK Dons, that was their record ever crowd at Stadium MK. That was a sellout, that game. So they've actually sold out the stadium at least a few times. They have built a fan base in Milton Keynes. It's just the club's origin story is so divisive, and that's why they're one of the most divisive clubs in English football. But from me, thank you very much for watching. Please place your thoughts in the comment section below, and I'll have some more content for you very, very soon.